Hello! If I lived alone when I was younger, I probably would have starved to death playing Simpsons Hit and Run. I can't go eat now, I've got to collect these skunks and kick bees. Do you think you would have survived? Well, some kids didn't have to wonder about that because they were involved in the Boys Alone social experiment, where they took 10 boys, aged 11 and 12, and put them in a house for 5 days with no adult supervision whatsoever. How long do you think it's gonna take before one of them gets seriously injured? Because even on the other show, Kid Nation, which was basically just Lord of the Flies, they took a bunch of kids and shoved them in this random desolate town in the middle of the desert and made them compete for food. And on that show, all of the kids were washing the dishes by just dipping them in bleach. So they were just drinking bleach. Because they're stupid. But they also did this exact same experiment with a group of 10 girls as well, which I would actually be very interested to come back and look at as well, but we're doing the boys one today because I found it first. But before we get into that, and I'm sorry for having to be that guy again, but 90% of my viewers aren't subscribed, and if you're part of that 90% and you enjoyed this video, I'm sure you'd enjoy the rest of my content, so please like and subscribe. It really does help the channel, and I really do appreciate it. But let's go! I haven't seen this before yet either, so I am fully expecting a kid to get stabbed. It's England. That's what we do. Oh yeah, and before we get into this, I forgot to mention that this was actually on Channel 4. This was primetime television in 2009. We used to be a real country, and because of this show, Channel 4 actually faced threats from social services, which seems about right.
How protective do we really need to be of our children? And just how dependent are they on us?
Completely.
What would happen if children were actually left to live alone together?
They'll die.
Aged 11 and 12, none of them had met beforehand.
10 kids that just want to destroy everything, and the only source of entertainment they have is Scrabble. You expect them to play Scrabble? Or chess? Chess is one of those games that you can tell that it's 3,000 years old.
Cameras were put in the bedrooms to monitor the boys at night, and during the day there was a camera crew in the house. The crew didn't speak to the boys, and only intervened for reasons of safety.
And the fact that the camera crew is in the house recording the kids but not saying anything to them adds another weird aspect to this experiment. Like, that just means that those kids are going to be even worse and acting up even more in front of the cameras to try and get a reaction. Which, to be fair, is a problem with all social experiments like this. It's pretty much impossible to capture somebody acting naturally when they know they're being watched.
First the boys saw of their new home was when they arrived at 10:30 one Monday morning.
Why is that kid? That kid's already got the guitar prepped and primed to murder the child in front of him. The experiment hasn't even started yet and they're already resorting to violence. It is going to be interesting to see how the hierarchy of all of this is going to play out though. Like, there's inevitably going to be one alpha sigma male that gets all the other guys to beat the shit out of one kid, and I guarantee you that he's not going to touch that guitar for the rest of this show. He probably doesn't even play. Oh, never mind, I was wrong. I just looked into it, and that kid actually grew up to be Tyler the Creator. Oh, that kid is the most 2000s looking kid I've ever seen in my life. Like, you just know that that kid has been sweating out Tony Hawk Underground 2, and I'm sorry to say this, but anybody who wears a backwards hat is bound to be an absolute twat. Yes, I'm talking to you.
There was a bell the boys could ring at any time if they needed help. They could speak to the production team, a nurse, their parents, or to a child psychiatrist who each had met beforehand.
They've got a psychiatrist on speed dial. That's how much they're expecting this to go wrong. They are immediately prepared for these kids to get PTSD for whatever the fuck is about to happen to them.
Upstairs, there were 2 bedrooms. The larger one had 6 beds. The smaller one had 4.
Okay, I'm already expecting a clan war. Because there's no way that these kids are going to stay as one big friendly group. They're going to sneak into each other's bedrooms with socks full of pennies and just wail on them while they're asleep. I don't know why I've just decided that all of these kids are murderous psychopaths.
Boys couldn't believe the freedom they'd been given, and for the first hour, they just ran riot. But soon, everybody was trashing the place, as if to see what it would take to make an adult intervene.
Exactly. You see, the fact that there's adults there with massive cameras, they have to test the boundaries. They have to see just how far they can take it, and once they realize there are no boundaries, apart from actually murdering each other, then they're gonna lose interest and start infighting because there's nothing else to do. That's my prediction.
Are those walls just really bugging me? What are they doing with it? Just really, but nothing. It's just sitting there being black and all horrible.
Jesus Christ, Paul, you can't be saying stuff like that.
By electing George as their leader, the boys had created their own version of a parent figure. And George's first task was to gather up everyone's complaints. almost all of which turned out to be directed at Michael.
You ran into him, Michael running.
See, I knew Michael was going to be pissing people off. He's still going around. He's stolen that guitar.
By midday, sheer hunger had pushed most of the boys into culinary creativity.
Anyway, it's me and Michael.
Push them into culinary creativity. He's never seen a peeler before.
Tomorrow it'll be a lot more.
Tomorrow and the day after then. And you got to cook everyone's food.
What kind of negotiation is that? Okay, so you didn't cook anything, you didn't use any pots, you didn't make any mess? Okay. I think you should be the one to do the washing and cook for us for the next 2 days.
I can't clean this.
And clean that room. Nobody's cleaning that room.
You turn that thing off, it's so annoying.
Okay, okay, here we go. Michael is still going. Pissing everybody off as much as possible.
Despite his
Oh
home
my god, that just that shot perfectly encapsulates what this show is. Absolute destruction, there's a kid dead on the settee, and why do they keep taking their tops off? It makes me uncomfortable. It's quite comfortable, actually.
George and Michael decided to keep watch over Sim while he tried to get some sleep.
Oh, they're watching over them. I mean, if you want anybody to watch over you, Michael is the worst person to do that. Oh, never mind, now the entire gang is coming out.
Do you want a punch? Because you know I mean that.
My dad's harder than your dad. My dad could beat the shit out of your dad in a fight, mate. Oh, what is that artsy-ass shot? I just watched Society last night, and that gave me some very scary flashbacks. Actually, no, I'm sorry. Society should never be mentioned in the same sentence as anything with children. If you've seen the movie, then you know exactly why.
Well, son, I guess you're right. I am a butthead.
The mess and lack of organisation was still bothering everyone.
God, every shot with Sim in the living room just looks so upsetting. It just looks like he's been living in squalor for his entire life. Each one of these shots just looks like one of those clips from those charity adverts, like, please donate money to this boy. He's eaten nothing but hula hoop sandwiches and Coke for the last 3 days. Oh, okay, here we go. Group effort. Oh, never mind. I thought they were actually getting water to tidy up the place, clean up the walls a little bit, but no. They've got their priorities in order. They need a little paddling pool. Why spend your time tidying up the house to make sure that rats, rodents, and other creatures don't get in, when instead you could have a little paddle in the pool? Imagine being the neighbors whilst all this is happening. You just look out your window to see a big group of boys surrounded by fully grown men with professional sound and recording equipment, standing over their tent and recording them while they sleep. How have the police not gotten here yet?
Pool. I'll forget socks.
Why are you going into the pool with socks on, bro? Like, that's the most egregious thing they've done so far. They've pushed all the boundaries to the absolute limits now. Drawing on the walls, fine. Raw egg and milk, less fine, but I guess if you want salmonella, that's okay. Washing your burnt toast with cold-ass water just before you bite it, sure, why not? But putting socks on to go into the pool, I didn't realize that was such a trigger for me.
Biggest crap I've ever seen.
That one, I didn't
Jesus
even turn it
Christ,
on.
so they've almost burnt the house down now. The one time they actually decide to cook a meal, and they almost murder everybody.
An hour after the boys had finished their first group meal, Sim was still washing up.
Well, because what is he cleaning there? That is a perfectly clean plate, and he's just still going at it. I think he's been on that one plate for the entire hour.
By agreeing to do the clearing up for all 10 boys, Sim had now finally established his place in the group.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean? By doing all of the dishes, Sim has cemented himself as the pussy-ass bitch of the house. Literally nobody else was cleaning up anyway. Sim was the only one to stand up and get it done.
Michael had been labelled as troublesome ever since spreading popcorn everywhere on the first day. And whatever he did now, the label stuck.
Oh my god, they're all dogging after Michael.
Shut the door so we can't get out. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but we're gonna
Oh, Jesus.
Attraction!
They've quarantined him. See, I knew it was good. I knew eventually they were going to start bullying people. I thought Michael was going to be one of the people doing the bullying, but no.
Let him out. Yeah, let him out. Hey, he's free.
Oh, wow, he did not seem affected by that at all. I thought, what? Never mind. Jesus Christ. What is happening here? See, this is when, like, the neighbors will be looking out the window and seeing grown men recording children taking a hostage and just harassing them.
give him a good whipping.
Now let's leave it.
Giving a good whipping? It's Jesus, it's getting worse. I know I came into this expecting them to be murderous, bullying, evil devils, but I did not expect them to actually go this far with it.
The noisier boys in the big bedroom and the quieter boys in the small one.
Fucking hell, of course it ended up being introverts versus extroverts. Why didn't I see that coming? But that's good, that means that the turf war is coming, and I'm ready to see these kids actively stab each other in the eyeballs.
I can't be bothered. I'm going to shout and lose my voice.
Alright, me and George.
What?
I'll play you. Alright.
What do you mean? To be fair, I guess that's always an option. If you're ever that bored, just try that. Just try screaming until your voice gives out. The fact that they felt they had no recourse. They're literally all together playing and hanging out, and it's still like, you know what? You know what? I'm gonna scream and not stop. Oh my god, he's gonna kill someone. He's gonna murder somebody. I think the entire point of this experiment was just to see how Michael reacts to other people. All the other kids have been relatively chill, but he's been losing his fucking mind this entire time. Maybe he was created for the experiment. They don't actually need to study any of the other kids. They just need to study Michael. How is there still anything to destroy? I'm surprised the windows are still intact. Jesus. These adults sneaking into these kids' bedrooms to record them while they sleep. It's my second favorite activity, to be honest. This camera work is like treating it as if this is the aftermath of the destruction of an apocalypse or a massive attack, which is basically what it was. I bet if you put some Stairway to Heaven to that, it would hit so hard.
Why are we still here? Just to suffer. Every night, I can feel my leg, my arm.
Snapped the legs.
Michael.
He's broken the guitar, he's broken the broom, he's broken the frisbee.
He broke the guitar. He broke the other kid's guitar. Oh, man. At the first, I was only joking when I said that backwards hat kids are dickheads. But he's a bit of a dickhead. He broke somebody else's guitar. He's broken that stuff. Yeah, that doesn't mean he deserves to be locked in another room and, quarantined from everybody there.
He nicked everyone's cameras out their drawers and smashed them all.
Yeah, wait till just before we leave, you beat him up.
What the setting up a coup? They really have just completely forgotten about the cameras, haven't they? God damn, Michael's gonna get shit kicked out of him.
Go in the garden, it's the only place where it isn't a mess. Probably isn't.
It's the only place where Michael is.
Daniel probably got looking into the wheel in that garden.
Oh, damn, they're just dropping these bombs and leaving.
By the afternoon, the boys decided they wanted to speak to Dr. Scott, the program's child psychiatrist, about Michael.
What? It's an even bigger coup than I thought it was. They're going to the only adult they can talk to about this. They feel they have no other recourse, because if they stay there, they're gonna have to beat the shit out of him, apparently. Oh my god, now it looks like some found footage shit. This looks like a kidnapper's basement right now.
The attempts to organize a group game turned instead into something more aggressive. Hunt the hedgehog.
What? No! What the fuck?
Oh, did you see that move? Did you see that move?
No, they're actively just terrorizing animals. Oh my god!
watch it move,
Oh
watch it.
no, leave it alone! What the fuck, guys?
Can't hear it, that's stupid.
Again! You weren't supposed to
At this
actually
point,
be
the film
fucking
crew-
psychopaths.
At this point, the film crew decided to intervene.
I mean, fair enough. I'm surprised that's the first time they've had to intervene so far, really. What a bunch of actual psychopaths. Honestly, if they wanted a true experiment, so they didn't meet up with a doctor and the film crew didn't intervene then, these kids would have murdered Michael, I think. They were ready to group beat to death the hedgehog right there. They were just being like, hey, why don't we beat the shit out of Michael on our last day, just for the fun of it? If they were left completely unsupervised, violence would be 10 times higher than this. Fucking hell. Honestly, Michael, you're really not helping the allegations. His entire argument's been I don't break everything. Insta cut to him beating the shit out of a tambourine. They're gonna raid this room. They're gonna raid this room, surely. Yep, they're raiding it. I knew it. Why don't you guys go off and circle jerk each other some more, huh? Why don't you go back into your goon cave and look deeply into each other's eyes until you have a deep spiritual awakening about who you really are? Has Michael got a knife? I think Michael's got a knife. The last person who should have a knife when raiding a room. Oh no, oh Michael!
War had been declared between the two rooms.
War had been declared. No, that's it, it's over. What? You can't say that war has been declared and then come back from the ads to
On the
just
morning of the
them being
final
totally
day.
fine. I thought we were about to get an angry mob going.
Well done. Leave it out. You have it.
Why don't you finish off playing with each other?
It's great jam.
Is that ketchup? Oh, it's jam. Oh, ridiculous.
I'll surrender. Sam surrendered.
They're gay, I swear.
Throughout the week, loyalties had been constantly shifting. With Sam's defection, it was now 6 against 4.
He's sorting out.
Yeah, he had to go join the stronger group, you know? Survival of the fittest at this point. Oh, look at how much happier Sam is now that he's with the fucking big boys now. What an absolute snake. He just turned against them at the first sign of trouble.
All we wanted is a fun week. Meet new people. What's it earned up in? Blooming Hell's Angels.
Why does that kid talk like he's been through 3 divorces and a midlife crisis? Sounds like he's gonna return back home to his wife after this. He was the one that was elected leader, right?
Who voted for George?
3 people, that's healthy, that's healthy.
George, you're our leader.
They all got together and voted for him to be the leader, and within 2 days it degenerated straight back into chaos, and now they're just actively fighting each other.
They were now in a state of siege, waiting for the week to end.
They're in a state of siege. They're gonna starve them out.
Robert, are you my friend? Are you my friend? Are you my friend, Robert?
God. Punch him. No, don't punch him. Let me punch him. How? This is so depressing. How did we get to this point as a species if children, when left alone, immediately resort to this state? I mean, how we evolved to this point as a species anyway, when giving birth is one of the most dangerous things we could do, even with modern medicine? And when we do have kids, they're completely useless for the first 18 years of their life. Giraffes come out of the womb walking and knowing how to do everything that they need to.
Okay, move on to the dining room.
I landed in a box.
The fact that there's so many people who'd never, like, grow past this mindset. Like, obviously, there's still loads of adults who still act like this, who just want to break shit, like, for no reason, and then they get annoyed that stuff is broken and blame it on other people. Why are people like this? There must be some kind of evolutionary reason, but I, for the life of me, could not figure it out. Damn, they are doing the fucking snowboarding thing that I said earlier. I'm surprised it's taken them this long to decide to do this, actually.
5 days after entering the house, the boys rejoined their parents.
Can the parents, like, go in and see the house? I want to see their reaction to the destruction that their kids have wrought.
During the children's stay, their parents had been able to see a live transmission of what had been going
Oh,
on.
fuck. So that means that the parents were watching when those kids were like, yeah, let's beat up this guy, or yeah, let's murder this small animal.
Why did you trash the place?
Oh, because we just got annoyed.
Annoyed with what?
Everything, basically. Especially Michael.
Why? Well, Michael started the paint for it.
Yeah, I know.
Again, immediately at the end, they're still blaming Michael for shit. They have all the footage. Your parents were watching the live footage of you doing it. Oh, but it was Michael's fault because he's annoying. To be fair, he did break a lot of shit.
That's so awful.
Did you all do that?
They're all so disappointed. You chose to put them in this experiment. What did you think? What did you expect was going to happen? If you put a bunch of drunk dudes in a house, the result would be about the same. Exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, people don't grow up from this shit. So that was the end of the experiment, and I've got to say, George killed it. Great guy. For the entire time, he was just genuinely trying to take care of everybody. Sim got f***ed over and put at the bottom of the hierarchy just because he was a bit quieter, I guess. And Michael, I hope he got the help he needed. But it is a very interesting experiment, and like I said earlier, if they left them like fully unsupervised, I think somebody would have died. They would have murdered that hedgehog, and first of all, if you're gonna murder any animal, why would you choose one of the cutest ones to ever exist? But yeah, if they had managed to actually get their hands on that hedgehog, they would have gotten a taste for blood, an unstoppable thirst for violence, and they definitely would have beaten the shit out of either Michael or Sim. The bigger group of mostly just louder, chavvy, or ADHD people definitely would have got physically violent with the smaller group of introverted kids. Like, if they were in there for 2 more days, it would have been a bloodbath. And it really does make you think about what would happen in an actual Lord of the Flies style scenario. I don't think humanity could ever recover from that. But thank you guys so much for watching. Please like and subscribe. I really do appreciate it, and it really does help out the channel. And if you do subscribe, then I will take 10 boys. Have a great day.